Good morning, everyone. This is Royce Miller coming back at you with yet another Let's Try. And today on the docket, we have homophobic chicken. I'm sorry, I mean Chick-fil-A. Technically, it's not even their chicken, because today we're delving back into the Christmas theme with their Peppermint Crunch Milkshake, or whatever it's called. I'll have to look it up. So yes, we have a peppermint and vanilla swirl here with whipped cream topping and a maraschino cherry. We shall try the cherry first. I love maraschino cherries. Now, my voice sounds worse, but I'm actually feeling better. I think what's happened is all the coughing and the drainage has strained my voice box a bit, so I'm sounding worse than I am. Although I could just be feeling better because of the miracles of science. That is Sudafed. You know, you take one 24-hour tablet and you're good to go for the rest of the day. Anyway, let's give her a try. Ooh, Oh darn, that's actually really good. Oh wow, they took my ID. So for my vehicle ID, they listed my car type and the color of it. That's weird. They must have seen me on the camera when they did it. Whatever. Anyway. That is really good on a sore throat, let me tell you. So what does it taste like? Well, it's basically the Shamrock Shake from McDonald's, but from a different place. Now, there are two ways to look at this. Because I have some compliments and I have some criticisms. First off, this is a really good shake. But it was $5.69. Okay, that is a lot for a milkshake. Or at least a milkshake this size. For that much, you could get an equitable milkshake at McDonald's. Assuming their ice cream machine isn't broken. There's the crunch. But this is a more boutique milkshake, like a more designer milkshake. As you can see, as you can see on the rim here, there's little bits of chocolate in there, little bits of like a, sort of like a candy cane type thing. It's not just a homogeneous liquid. Now, I usually prefer a more, something without chunks in it because the chunks tend to be too cold for my teeth. But the chunks are so small that they easily adjust to the temperature of your mouth, so you're not like, it doesn't feel like you're trying to chew on ice. And it is just very comforting in a way. Now, I joke that Chick-fil-A is homophobic, but by that same token, like, to quote everyone's least favorite Santa Claus, there is no ethical consumption under capitalism. So, like, yes, like Chick-fil-A is owned by a Christian organization that, does donate to homophobic rhetoric and all that stuff, but, like, if you dig deep enough, everyone does a bunch of shitty stuff. Okay, like, the Dole Corporation is responsible for the annexation of Hawaii. Nestle is stealing water from indigenous tribes in, like, Fiji and shit. Or, well, indigenous, like, peoples. I shouldn't say tribes. Like, no matter where you go, you will find bad things about people. And it's ultimately up to your own moral alignment. Like, you know, and normally I do have a very, like, unfortunately very rigid moral alignment. Like, I remember, when JonTron, first said all that, like, weird, xenophobic BS, I was floored, because I was a huge fan of his up until that point. And then a couple years later, I was like, well, maybe if I go back and watch it, maybe I can rekindle some of that love I used to have for him. And I tried, and I wasn't able to. Because it had been tainted for me. Now, if you can ignore that part, if you can't ignore that little voice in your head, you know, like, I'm not going to say that's a bad thing, it's just, you know, just keep in mind, just keep in mind how some people feel about it. And I'm just telling you why I don't personally engage in stuff I used to do. Anyway, I also got some of their chicken biscuits to try because, you know, it's breakfast time there, and I don't go there much, so I should try some of their stuff. See if their chicken's worth the hype. It's okay, it'd be better without the biscuit. Oh. The white meat looks a little bit pink, but I think that's due to the brine, because, you know, Chick-fil-A pickle brines are chicken. Oh. I normally, I try to keep it to that thing, but, like, I can't wet my whistle on that after dry biscuit and chicken. Ugh, okay. Yeah, I have napkins. Okay, I'll be right back. Sorry about that, I had to blow my nose again. And, like, people, like, I explained this in one video, and then people started complaining, and I'm like, I already explained it. I guess I should account for that. Sometimes it's everyone's first time video. Why I think people like Chick-fil-A more than like KFC or Popeyes is specifically because of the quality of the meat. Like, here's the thing, the breading is not actually that good. The breading to me is just okay. It's like a blander version of original recipe chicken from KFC. So it's like original recipe without the pepper. But it's the fact that it has that pickle brine chicken that people like it so much. And, like, I remember one time my cousin got Chick-fil-A because, unlike me, he has no druthers about where he eats. And so I asked him for a piece of his because I was hungry and waiting for my food to heat up. And so he let me have one, and it was amazing. But I was really hungry at the time. So, like, 6 of one, half dozen other kind of thing. Like, is it actually that good, or was I just really hungry? with all that said, I still do prefer KFC. And it's purely on a level of KFC tastes really good. They're not afraid of the MSG. You know, I mean, that extra crispy skin is, oh, that's something. And then their gravy's also really good. Like, that's Chick-fil-A's problem. They don't have gravy. If they had gravy, they might have something cooking. I will say this is a little frostier. This is like a cross between a shake and a Frosty. Because like the Frosty at Wendy's is a lot icier than most shakes. I think that's why they call it a Frosty. But the ice in here could also just be because it's got chunks of stuff in it, so that, you know, would develop ice as you mix it in with the ice cream and milk. It is good, though. Like, I just realized this is the most expensive milkshake in the world. Because remember, in Pulp Fiction, John Travolta's character, I think Vince, says, like, $5 for a milkshake? Well, hey, that's got to be the most expensive milkshake in the world, or something to that effect. However, most food is actually made on the thirds. Basically, food is made for a third of the cost. So if you paid $5 for a milkshake, that means they spent, let's see, so 5 divided 3, that's 1. Carry that over, or so 2, then carry that over. 2, or 20 divided 3 is 6. So it'd be about 166, I believe. And that includes cost to manufacture, like, you know, cost of ingredients and cost of you know, like, service. That's why you should never trust a deal, because that means that they are willing to. That means that there's something wrong with it if they're pushing it off on you, or they bought too much of it. Ugh. Just gonna finish this milkshake in front of you, make you watch me. You know, Chick-fil-A is who's really started the sandwich wars, the chicken sandwich wars. And I don't understand it. Their sandwich, like, I preferred the McDonald's premium chicken filet sandwich that they had before the whole chicken sandwich war broke out. I miss that. I miss that sandwich. I miss the Swiss Bacon Club. What I used to do is I'd get the Swiss Bacon Club, and then I would take the filet out of the sandwich, and then so I'd just eat the sandwich as a BLT, and then I'd have this whole chicken breast to eat. And there was a good chicken breast, too. Like, McDonald's, when they used their frozen chicken breast, had a really good one, where it was a very peppery breading. Kind of like the stock, chicken tender breading that you'd get at, like, DQ or wherever. Ooh, that's a good one to have for fast food faves later. But with a much softer crisp than the very hard crunch of the chicken tender. I remember also just speaking about fast food fried chicken. I remember in fourth grade we were told to write letters to Tom Turkey, telling him how we would spare him for Thanksgiving. And I told him Mr. Turkey, I promise to try to convince my parents to do KFC instead. Which isn't too far off from where Chick-fil-A ended up with their Eat More Chicken campaign. That was pretty decent. That was actually a very good shake. You will not regret getting it. I mean, you may regret the price a little bit, but, well, you know, it's Chick-fil-A. You spend a little more at Chick-fil-A. That's the thing. I'm a garbage monster. I subsist on McDonald's, Burger King, and Subway. If you go to a higher-end, fast food eatery, you are going to be spending more money. That is the give and take of it all. Anyway, y'all have a good one. This is Royce Miller. I'm out.